nothing goes on.
So they're not even directed their attention toward y'all. They're too busy looking on the outside.
Yeah, they're looking on the outside. Lieutenant Watson, the company XO, was with us. He was in this building here. And that's why I was kind of... I could focus internally on the Iraqis because Lieutenant Watson was there, staff sergeant next there. I've got strong leaders outside. So my role is kind of like, hey, you get this thing off the ground. Like, your squad leaders and Lieutenant Watson will got the outer stuff. So Lieutenant Watson calls back EOD. It's like, what the fuck? You guys swept the area and they're still... But like, EOD, they can't, they're doing the best they can. They're not going to catch everything. They go back through and sweep the area and they find 2 more IEDs, like, just like, here's the PLS truck. Here's where the first one went off. They found one like right here and one right here. Both buried. Same deal. And they were like all right on this little road next to the school.
So they were potentially daisy chained together. It's just somehow or other the cord could have very well been separated from just the first blast.
So they got those EOD comes in, they dig those ones up, and we're like, this is like hour 4 of a 72-hour op, right? We just get hit by, like, platoon commander gets hit by an ID with the corner. The next thing.
So did you suffer any shrapnel injuries?
No, I didn't take any shrapnel. I had like dust and shit hit me in the face. Like, I remember, like, the rest, like, I have some pictures where it's just like my face is like completely black because I got like hit with all this dust and stuff. I didn't get hit by any shrapnel.
You didn't receive a Purple Heart for that?
No.
Okay. You could have, very well have.
I mean, the guys that if I would, like, actually, I got hit, like, me and Doc Mack, I got thrown up against the wall, and there's like shards of shrapnel in the wall, and Sergeant Mejia came down, like, instantaneously came down, and was like, to help us drag the Iraqis inside. He pulled a piece of shrapnel out of the wall that's like 6 inches long to see, and like he gave it to me. He's like, here, sir, this like almost got you. So I kept it in my flak rest of the deployment. But that was the first incident that happened. So we set it up. We're like, okay, hey, we need to. We're fucking, mission is we got to get this polling center open. So we stay out there. We set up. The Iraqis fortify the building, and we have on the school, which is here. We set 2 7-tons here, which are like pillboxes, because 7-tons have like real good up armor stuff. So there's 2 Iraqis in here, and there's 2 Iraqis in here, and my squads are in Overwatch here, right?
What happened to that army truck that had the sandbags in it? Just left?
It actually had to get towed out because it took some battle damage.
Okay.
From the ID explosion. So here's my Overwatch positions. I've got some 7-tons that are covering gaps for me with Iraqi soldiers in them, right?
Okay.
This is the school. We're back, set up in our thing. This post here gets into this, like, take some pop shots towards them, right? But not enough. They don't have PID, so they don't return fire. And that was a big thing that we like pushed on our guys. Like, hey, if you don't have a PID, you don't shoot back, right? Well, there's an Iraqi PFC here who opens up with like a machine gun burst. So we have like limited communications with these guys through like the Turp and everything. So me and Falla run down and we're talking to this guy and we're like, hey, what did you see? This guy says, hey, I saw a dude with an RPG and I saw a dude with a sniper rifle. So we know there's 2 dudes out there probing our lines, trying to hit us, right? So we go to stand 2, which means everybody get, like, I say, hey, okay, this guy, I saw him, he shot him, everybody go to stand 2. So we're like 100% alert. This is still day 1. Rest of day 1 goes by, nothing happens. But we know that there's a sniper and an RPG guy out there like probing our lines because an Iraqi dude saw him and shot him. Next day is the elections. The first day of the elections, it's the same type of dynamic as October 4th, you just see explosions all over town. Like IEDs going off all over town. You hear like small arms fire all over town. But if it's not directed at you, it's kind of like, well, hey, I got contact 300 meters to the west. But it's not directed at you. There's so many units out in zone, you don't, it's just normal activity.
Oh, I was going to ask you real quick. So when that Iraqi opened up on the sniper and the RPG gunner, what time in the morning was that?
I'd probably say like 11 o'clock.
Okay.
So the second day is the elections.
So nothing happened that night?
Actually, something did happen that night. That night, 3rd Squad's OP had a shot down 342. They saw 2 guys, and there was an Iraqi polling center here. So we had mobile sections going up and down this road all day.
And that was Lieutenant Mojica and his platoon?
Lieutenant Mojica, Cat Black, all kinds of mobile sections from throughout the battalion. They had, we're up, I'm in this OP with Sergeant Brown. He tells me, hey sir, we got these guys. We keep seeing guys go back and forth here. We're thinking they're putting in an ID. This is like 3rd or 4th time. They see 2 or 3 guys here. We had a curfew set up. He sees the heat signatures. I tell him like, hey, you go ahead and fire the next time you see him, because it meant hostile act, hostile intent. Like we had a curfew out. These guys through the scopes, you're seeing them. They have like they're laying in an ID, right? So
thermal sights. Some kind of
PVS 17. Like so, they're looking through the sight and they see guys like in a no curfew zone. Okay. These guys are putting an object in the middle of the road. This is an object that meets the criteria for 2005 hostile act, hostile intent.
Okay.
So I tell Sergeant Brown, hey, you shoot that guy, but I'm telling, because I'm upstairs and he's on the 2nd level. I'm like, hey, you shoot that guy, but you make sure if you shoot him, you fucking kill him, right? Because they're laying in the ID. So there's like 2 guys that would like go out on the road and come back, and go out on the road and come back. So they go out on the road. Sergeant Brown gets 4 guys on there, and like this is probably 400 meters.
Okay, it's a pretty good shot.
So it's far. It's not like out of control far, but it's still pretty far. He gets 4 guys with like 3 Pec 2s, a saw, and a 240. So 5 guys. They do the countdown with the Pec 2s where they're lacing, and Sergeant Brown's like real meticulous. As they count down, they shoot these guys, kill the ID layers. Through the thermals, they see them drop. They see the 2 guys drop, and then they see 2 other guys come out and grab them and pull them off. And the time was so quick, they were like looking. They didn't get another shot off at the guys as they were dragging the bodies out. So Sergeant Brown had a fire team like precision kill this IED team that was laying in an ID. What they were trying to do was disrupt our logistics runs to other polling sites. So that happened that night. So the whole day is like there's shit happening. Like the ID goes off, the Iraqis shoot stuff. We've got the normal internal friction of working there with the Iraqi army trying to set up the base. Sergeant Brown's guys see this, and like throughout the night there's still contact, not oriented at us, but throughout the city there's explosions and stuff going on. Next day, polling center opens. As it opens,
this is just the beginning of the day too.
Beginning of day 2, and like we didn't sleep that night because there was all this stuff going on. Beginning of day 2, probably about 9 o'clock.
Oh, and when you say you didn't sleep that night, the night before, you were probably up all night preparing for day 1.
Yeah.
So this is really probably 48 plus hours and no sleep for most of the Marines.
Yeah. I mean, we were going. Well, the Marines were going in shifts, but like the leaders, like the squad leaders, platoon sergeant, lieutenant, like we're not sleeping. But the Marines are getting to sleep in shifts, and the only reason